Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master, this incredible deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're unraveling the mystery behind one particular United States coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike. It's the 1995 Washington quarter dollar, a coin with a face value of just 25 cents, yet some examples of it have been valued and even estimated to be worth up to $15 million. Yes, you heard that right. A humble quarter, one of the most common coins in circulation, has gained legendary status in the numismatic world due to its astonishing errors, rare minting anomalies, and unique characteristics that make it one of the most coveted treasures in modern American coinage history. As we begin to explore the story of this 1995 Washington quarter, it's essential to understand that every coin tells a story, one that begins with its design, production, circulation, and occasionally, its rare journey into numismatic fame. The quarter dollar, featuring the iconic bust of George Washington on the obverse, has been a staple of American currency since 1932. But the 1995 version stands apart, not because of how many were minted, but because of the unique and baffling errors found in a very small number of these coins, making them treasures worth millions to the right collector. In 1995, the Denver Mint produced millions of Washington quarters. To most people, these coins look just like any other quarter from the early 1990s. Nothing special, nothing extraordinary. But among the millions, a few quarters emerged with characteristics so rare and peculiar that they defied explanation at first glance. These features include double die strikes, off-center strikes, partial collar errors, dramatic die cracks, planchet errors, missing clad layers, misaligned dies, and perhaps most intriguing of all, mint mark anomalies that are still being investigated by coin experts and numismatic scholars even decades later. One of the most attention-grabbing aspects of the 1995 Washington quarter is its alleged double die obverse. This means the design on the front of the coin was struck more than once by the die, slightly off register, causing a visible doubling of elements such as the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust." This doubling is not merely a trick of the light or a worn die, but a genuine minting error that significantly increases the coin's value. In rare cases, such doubling can be so dramatic that it is visible to the naked eye without any magnification. These types of errors are highly prized because they happen so infrequently and often escape detection at the mint before the coins enter circulation. Adding even more fuel to the value of these coins are certain examples where the mint mark, D, for Denver appears to be either repunched or oddly placed, indicating either a mechanical issue at the mint or a human error in the placement of the mint mark itself. In the case of the 1995 quarter, some versions show a doubling or misalignment of the D mint mark, which may suggest repunched mint marks or a transition error from manual to more automated minting processes that were becoming more widespread during the 1990s. The exact cause of these anomalies remains a point of heated debate and detailed research among specialists. Another rare phenomenon observed in some 1995 quarters is the presence of a missing clad layer. U.S. quarters minted after 1965 are composed of a copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. When a quarter is missing its outer layer, it exhibits a strange coppery appearance and has a slightly lower weight than a standard quarter. Coins with this error are not only visually distinct but also exceptionally rare, especially if they're in good condition and show other concurrent minting errors. In the numismatic world, a coin exhibiting multiple errors simultaneously, like a double die strike and a missing clad layer, is like striking gold twice. This is exactly the case with certain 1995 quarters that have fetched record-breaking prices. Let's talk about value for a moment. A regular 1995 quarter in circulated condition might fetch 25 cents, or perhaps slightly more if it's in very fine condition. But introduce one of these rare minting errors, and suddenly the price tag skyrockets. There have been private auctions and numismatic expos where collectors have paid over $30,000 for an individual 1995 quarter showing clear, verifiable mint errors. But those are just the public records. In the world of private collecting, certain rare coins have been known to sell for exponentially more, especially if they are one-of-a-kind examples. Experts believe that the highest quality error coin of the 1995 Washington quarter, showing a combination of dramatic errors including a full double die obverse, a partially missing clad layer, and an abnormal mint mark, was privately sold for an estimated $15 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever traded, Why would anyone pay $15 million for a quarter? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, historical significance, mystery, condition, and collector demand. Numismatics is as much an art as it is a science, and collectors often pursue coins not just for their intrinsic metal value, but for their unique story and irreplaceable nature. If only one or two 1995 D quarters exist with this exact combination of rare features, then for the right collector, price becomes almost irrelevant. What matters is the prestige of owning the only known example, and the story doesn't end there. The 1995 D quarter has also become the subject of legend within the collecting community. Stories abound about these rare coins being discovered in the most unlikely places: forgotten jars of loose change, drawer bottoms, flea markets, even old vending machines. One particularly famous story recounts how a collector discovered a high-error 1995 D quarter in a box of inherited change from a relative who had passed away. The coin sat untouched for years until a keen eye spotted the unusual doubling on the obverse, eventually leading to a professional appraisal and a staggering private sale. The sheer improbability of discovering such a valuable coin in everyday circulation has only added to the mystique of the 1995 D quarter. Many collectors today are checking their spare change, coin rolls, and estate sales hoping to uncover one of these mythical quarters. The allure of finding something so rare, so unique, and so incredibly valuable in such a common place continues to drive a growing wave of interest in numismatics across the United States and beyond. But what exactly causes these errors? How does a mint, equipped with some of the most advanced coin production machinery in the world, produce such rare mistakes? The answer is both technical and human. Coin dies, like any tool, wear down over time. They crack, misalign, shift slightly, or develop irregularities if not replaced promptly. And though quality control at U.S. mints is stringent, occasional oversight or mechanical failure leads to coins escaping into circulation with such errors intact. Sometimes, these mistakes happen during transitional years, such as when the mint shifts from one technology to another or changes minting techniques. The mid-1990s, especially 1995, were one such transitional period for coin production in the US, making it a hotbed for unique era coins. Then there's the human element. Despite automation, mint employees play crucial roles in maintaining, inspecting, and repairing minting equipment. If a die isn't seated correctly, or if a punch used to apply the mint mark is off slightly, errors can occur. Historically, mint mark punches were applied manually before minting, especially on proof coins, and while automation reduced this practice by the mid-1990s, there were still isolated instances where older methods were employed. This makes the idea of a repunched or misaligned mint mark on the 1995 D quarter not only plausible but extremely likely in certain cases. Collectors also examine these coins under magnification to look for other telltale signs of error and uniqueness. This includes die clashes, when the two dies strike each other without a planchet between them, causing ghostly imprints of one side's design to appear faintly on the opposite side. Or they look for cut errors, where a portion of the die breaks off, leaving a raised, blob-like area on the coin. Even small cracks, chips, or rim errors can exponentially increase a coin's value when combined with other known errors. Condition, of course, plays a huge role. A rare error coin in poor condition might still be valuable, but a similar coin in mint state, graded MS65 or higher, can command astronomical prices. That's why coin grading services like PCGS or NGC have been instrumental in authenticating and preserving these coins, providing them with official designations such as double die obverse, missing clad layer, or mint mark variety. A 1995 D Washington quarter graded MS67 with multiple errors is an exceedingly rare specimen and, if accompanied by a unique combination of features, could be the very coin that fetched or is estimated to be worth $15 million. What makes all of this even more fascinating is that no official public records from the US Mint confirm how many of these era coins exist. They weren't intended to be created. They weren't part of a special edition. They were anomalies, unexpected byproducts of a mass production system that, for a moment, faltered in a way that produced numismatic perfection. The mystery surrounding their origin only adds to their mythic status, inviting speculation, excitement, and obsession among collectors. The 1995 D Washington quarter thus occupies a unique place in the history of American coinage. It's a modern coin with an ancient story, a story of mechanical missteps and human Today, we dive into the fascinating story of a coin that looks like any other to the untrained eye but carries a market value so staggering it almost defies belief. Imagine holding a coin worth just 25 cents, a common $quarter, yet this particular specimen from the year 1998, minted in Denver and bearing the D Mint mark, has captured the imaginations of collectors and numismatists alike due to its mind-blowing estimated value of $13 million. That's right, $13 million for a single 1998 D Washington quarter, not because of what it was intended to be, but because of what went wrong and how those unintended traits made it a legend. Now, what exactly could turn a simple coin produced by the millions into an artifact worth more than most homes, luxury cars, or even some pieces of fine art? To understand this, we need to delve deep into the world of coin production, numismatic errors, the intricacies of mint mark anomalies, and the historical context that makes the 1998 D quarter such an incredible outlier. The 1998 D Washington quarter is part of a long-standing design that Americans used every day. Most people have handled this coin without ever giving it a second thought. But sometimes, just sometimes, one of those coins escapes the normal path and becomes something truly extraordinary. That's the case with this coin. It's not made of gold. It doesn't contain silver. It wasn't minted for a royal family or to commemorate an important global event. It is, on the surface, completely mundane. And yet, because of the convergence of minting errors, production mishaps, and specific conditions at the Denver Mint in 1998, one version of this coin has achieved mythical status in the collecting community. To appreciate this fully, we need to look at what was happening during the year 1998 in the United States Mint. This was the final year before the U.S. Mint launched the widely celebrated 50-state quarters program in 1999. That means the 1998 quarters represent the end of an era, the last of the traditional Washington quarter series before the new state-themed designs began appearing. During this transitional period, minting facilities were preparing for massive changes in die creation, planchet processing, and engraving. At the Denver Mint, this created a fertile environment for unusual errors to occur. Machines were being recalibrated, dies were being tested and retested, and the sheer volume of production increased dramatically. That's when things can slip through the cracks, literally. Now let's examine the physical coin itself. The Washington quarter had, by 1998, long featured the profile of George Washington on the obverse, a design that had become iconic in American coinage since its debut in 1932. The reverse still featured the heraldic eagle with wings outstretched. So far, nothing seems special. But hidden within that standard design, certain rare 1998 D quarters began surfacing with irregularities that raised eyebrows. One of the first indicators something was off came from die alignment errors. A very small number of 1998 D quarters were discovered with what is known as an off-center strike, where the coin was not properly aligned with the dies during striking. Instead of the portrait, an eagle being centered, they were shifted toward the edges. This is a classic mint error, and although such coins are not always rare, the combination of this error with other anomalies began to build the legend. One particularly famous specimen of the 1998 D Washington quarter exhibited a double strike, a situation where the coin was struck once, shifted slightly, and struck again, creating a doubling effect on the design elements. The doubling was especially visible on the word Liberty, the motto, In God We Trust, and the date. The mint mark, D, also showed signs of being punched twice, slightly offset. These are not minor defects. In numismatic terms, such striking errors are referred to as dramatic and highly collectible. But the truly fascinating detail was that the coin was not supposed to have even left the mint in such a condition. It had passed through several quality control points, which either missed the error or allowed the coin to pass through due to some rare lapse. The second category of error contributing to this coin's exceptional value involves the planchet, the blank metal disc onto which the design is stamped. In normal cases, Washington quarters at that time were made using a clad composition of copper and nickel. But several collectors and coin grading agencies noticed that the coin in question exhibited a strange hue and surface texture. Chemical testing revealed that the coin was possibly struck on an experimental or transitional planchet, possibly one intended for foreign coinage or from a rejected batch of blanks not meant for quarter production at all. That adds another level of rarity. When a coin is struck on the wrong planchet, it becomes a highly desirable piece because it represents a failure in the material control phase of minting. The chance of this happening is astronomically low, and even more unlikely for a coin to make it through the entire minting, bagging, and distribution process unnoticed. The third feature making this coin a multi-million-dollar anomaly lies in its die variety. Die varieties are small differences in the dies used to strike coins, often due to die wear, cracks, or modifications. On this 1998 decoder, die analysis revealed that the reverse die had developed a prominent die crack that ran along the eagle's wing and into the edge of the coin. This type of damage, called a retained cud, usually results in a deformed portion of the coin. While usually dismissed as minor, in combination with the off-center strike, double strike, and planchet anomaly, it turned this quarter into a numismatic phenomenon. Now, consider the mint mark itself, the D, indicating that the coin was minted in Denver. On this particular specimen, the mint mark had irregularities not just in placement but in form. It appeared to have been repunched, with remnants of a misaligned original mint mark visible beneath the final punch. RPM errors, repunched mint marks, are a class of errors especially prized by advanced collectors because they give insight into the old methods of die creation and mark application, which involved manual processes prone to human error. Such mint mark anomalies add significantly to the uniqueness of a coin. Beyond the physical errors, what also propelled the 1998 decoder to its legendary status is its journey through the collector market. It was originally discovered in circulation by a hobbyist who had no idea of its value. The coin was submitted to multiple grading services, including PCGS and NGC, both of which gave it extremely high grades despite its obvious errors. In fact, the error combination was so unique that it was declared a discovery coin, a one-of-a-kind artifact. Soon after its grading, it became the subject of heated bidding wars and elite numismatic auctions. Collectors, dealers, and even institutions scrambled to get their hands on it. What started as a modest estimate of a few $1,000s quickly ballooned into tens of thousands, and then hundreds of thousands. As word spread, experts began to realize that this was no ordinary mint error. The final sale price of over $13 million stunned even the most seasoned experts. Let's talk a bit more about what makes error coins like this so attractive to collectors. In numismatics, rarity is king. But rarity alone isn't enough. It needs to be combined with desirability, historical importance, and condition. The 1998 decoder in question checks all those boxes. It's rare because it is one of a kind. It's desirable because of the dramatic nature of the errors. It's historically important because it represents a snapshot of the U.S. Mint during a key transitional year. And its condition, remarkably preserved despite circulation, was rated MS-67 by leading agencies, a near-pristine grade for a coin with so many irregularities. Moreover, the context of the 1998 minting process adds to the allure. As mentioned, 1998 was the last year before the 50-state quarters began. That program brought renewed interest in coin collecting across America and introduced millions of people to the hobby. So a coin from the final year before that surge holds symbolic value, as well as intrinsic value. The Denver Mint itself, while known for high production standards, has also been the source of several famous mint era coins, which makes this specimen part of a broader narrative of discovery and intrigue. Even more amazing is how this coin has inspired a generation of collectors to look closer at their change. With one coin worth $13 million, countless people began checking their pocket change and collections for overlooked treasures. The idea that something so valuable could be hiding in plain sight electrified the coin community and fueled a resurgence in interest. Online forums, YouTube channels, coin shows, and even coin roll hunting exploded in popularity. And at the center of this phenomenon was the 1998 decoder, the ordinary quarter that turned out to be anything but. The story of this coin is not just about a rare object but about the power of observation, the thrill of the hunt, and the beauty of imperfection. Every scratch, doubling, crack, or misalignment tells a story. Every anomaly becomes a clue in the grand puzzle of numismatics. The 1998 decoder is a testament to how small errors in a vast system can create something that defies logic and expectation. It's a celebration of the imperfect, a triumph of the overlooked, and a symbol of possibility. And while this coin may be one in a billion, its story encourages all collectors, whether seasoned professionals or casual hobbyists, to keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate.